Good morning. How are you doing? How was your week? So, I'm really happy to see you at today's webinar. Today is the last webinar of our summertime program. And finally, I'm ready to announce who is the winner of our main project, for the presentation Gala project. Thank you for your active participation and sending some presentation videos, pictures, drawn by your own. That was really nice. And we together, a group of teachers, with my colleagues, we've decided that the winner for this Gala project is Karina Vishnevska. So our congratulations to Karina. You will get the main prize, and our administrator will tell you all the details concerning this point. So one more pleasant thing for you. You will have a chance to win the prize as well, but not for the best project, for the smartest comments and the rest. So today we will decide who is the most luckiest. So we'll have the fortune teller, like Will, and all your names, surnames will be there. But we will move forward to it a little bit later. And today we start with discussing the topic called storytelling. First of all, I'll announce what we are going to talk about today. We'll start with a short discussion, the importance of storytelling, what makes a great story, how to develop a story, so important elements and its structure, and we'll practice storytelling itself. Great. So before we start, I want you to show a short video, and after that, you need to answer the questions. What is the funniest, the craziest, or the wildest story happened? Okay, let's go.
I want this boat. Built in 1928. Designed by the Baglietto Yard, Variazia. Nothing like it in the world. Rarer than rare. That's for sure. I want to buy it with money. I want to win it. It's the dance. We did dance. Dance. Why did I say I would dance? Why did I say I would dance? What was I thinking? Let me just put it up at the front. It definitely feels too tight. This is perfect. Is that a piano? Is that working?
Yeah. It's a very old piano, but it's got a lovely tune, you know. What did you want it for anyway?
A bit of fun. Let's get on with it then. Hello. I want to buy these books. From 1928 by the renowned Baglietto Varese. It's nothing like it in the world. Rarer than rare. It's not for sale. I don't want to buy it with money. I want to buy it with a story. A story.
So what was the strangest thing here in this short movie that you watched? Was there anything that surprised you? If yes, what? And what really happened? Okay, while I'm waiting for your comment, I'll explain the next task. After we've discussed the video, please think of the craziest, wildest, or the funniest story that has ever happened to you or somebody you know, and share this story with us. So it shouldn't be long, just some main ideas what happened. No, so nothing weird, nothing surprising. Or you have no stories to share. So as for the video, yeah, the boy bought the board with the help of the dance. So not money, but dance. It might be weird a little bit. And another point, when the man wanted to get this board back, which was the unique, he suggested, again, not money, but the story. Okay, Sophia commented, no, I think, but it was funny when two men dance while they walk on the street. Okay, nice. What about your own stories? Do you remember any craziest, wildest, or funniest story? I'm sure you all have such kind of stories in your life. Yeah, maybe not all of them are for sharing, but still. Is there any story you can tell us? Okay, Nikita doesn't have any story. So you can think about it, and we will move further to the importance of the storytelling. First of all, let's look at the definition of the storytelling. It describes the social and cultural activity of sharing stories as a means of entertainment, education, cultural preservation, or instilling moral values. Why is storytelling important? Essential to effective communication. There you might see some reasons. The first reason is that stories are more impactful than facts. So they get attention, they get remembered, they change perception. Apart from this, the most effective way to engage your audience is with storytelling, as humans beings are wired for them. Our brains often do not distinguish between fiction and reality. Therefore, we immerse ourselves in stories as if we were a part of them. Stories also make us experience information as opposed to just consuming it. When we tell stories to others that have really helped us shape our thinking and way of life, we can have the same effect on them too. So, what makes a great story? Effective storytelling involves a deep understanding of humans' emotions, motivation, and psychology in order to truly move an audience. Luckily, storytelling is something we all do naturally, starting at a very young age. But there's a difference between good storytelling and great storytelling. Now look at 6 rules of great storytelling. These rules are based on the materials from the website made by Brian Peterson, as told by Pixar. Pixar is arguably one of the greatest storytellers of our generation. Over the years, we've won 13 Academy Awards, 9 Golden Globes, and 11 Grammys. Pixar has developed their own 22 rules of storytelling. And here are the top 6 we can all learn from. Let's look at the first one. Great stories are universal. Great storytelling is about taking a piece of the human condition, so things like birth, growth, emotionality, aspiration, conflict, and the rest, and conveying it in a unique situation. Acclaimed Pixar director Peter Docter put it perfectly. What you are trying to do when you tell a story is to write about an event in your life that made you feel some particular way. And what you are trying to do when you tell a story is to get the audience to have the same feeling. One way you can do this is to put apart the stories you like. Break down every little element about what you love about them. Those are real feelings, and you have to recognize them in detail in order to tell a great story yourself. Another point here is great stories have a clear structure and purpose. Obviously, you have to make sure that your story has clear and logical structure. But what comes before that is a clear understanding of what you're telling the story. So you need to understand the reason why you're doing it, why you're telling it. As Pixar writes, before telling a story, answer a set of questions. The first question to answer, why might you tell this story? Second, what's the belief burning within you that your story feeds off of? What greater purpose does this serve, and what does it teach? So, when you tell a story, there might be reason, purpose, and something that may teach us. By crafting a story that you are passionate to tell because it serves a real purpose, your stories will have bigger impact on the world. As for the third point, great stories have a character to root for. In another word, we can say an underdog. What does it mean? Believe it or not, people want to root for you, so the main character, as they love a good underdog. This might seem straightforward, but it's worth keeping in mind anytime you are creating a story. Pixar explains that we as the audience admire a character of trying more than for their success. In other words, it's more about the character's journey than it's their actual destination, for instance. When your character is battling against all odds, facing adversity or their back against the wall, well, then you have yourself the makings of great story. In our modern society, for example, everyone loves a good rags to riches story. How many times has Forbes published an article about the fearless entrepreneur that dropped everything, almost failed dozens of times along the way, yet still managed to create a multi-million-dollar business? So give the people an unexpected hero to root for. As for the fourth point, which is called great stories appeal to our deepest emotion, it should be mentioned that psychologists generally agree that there are 6 basic emotions. So could you guess what 6 basic emotions do we have? So you probably watch the cartoons. Yeah, you might guess from the pictures that you could see. What 6 basic emotions do people have? What are your suggestions? If you ever watch the Pixar movie Inside Out, you will recognize these emotions as characters in the movie. So can you comment and send me the emotions? So Sophia sent us the story. Yeah, my phone was found in toilet when I was in 8th grade. So it might be really piteous story if you can't just fix your phone. And yeah, the reaction, the emotion might be sadness that the people feel. Okay, completely agree. This is one of the emotions. What else? What about this red character? What emotion does he express? Joy, sadness, fear, anger. Yes, with joy, it might be happiness. Yeah. Okay. So also such emotion as surprise, yeah, and disgust when you do not like something, disgust. Great. Recognize these various emotions in yourself and think about the why. So think about the reasons. Why are you feeling a certain way? How might you be able to take the why behind your emotions and tell a story? Continuously question yourself in order to understand how you wrote emotional reaction to stories so that you can learn to tell more authentic stories that reach and move people where it counts. As for the 5th point, great stories are surprising and unexpected. We've all seen the classic fairy tale. It is called a storyline. A helpless princess in need and a charming prince swapping it to save the day. It is boring and totally outdated. What makes modern stories compelling are when their perception of reality are challenged or changed in some way. Creators like Pixar and Walt Disney use animated movies as vehicles to address real-life phenomena, issues, stereotypes, and norms. Movies such as Brave, Coco, Tangled, Moana help us to understand and reflect on big, human-centered topics that we might not otherwise take time out of your day to think about. Many times, those topics or themes are surprising and unexpected, leaving the audience thinking about the story well after it's over. You're stuck on coming up with something truly unique. Pixar recommends to get rid of the first thing that comes to your mind, and then the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Challenge yourself to the deep. 6th point. Great stories are simple and focused. We as audiences know a good story when we see or hear one. Have you ever watched a movie or read a book where you had to keep asking yourself or someone else what was happening in the plot? Not a great experience. As creators, we naturally want to include as much information as possible in our stories. We want to pack the story full of characters and plot, twists and dialogues and the rest. And oftentimes we might not even realize that we are adding layers that don't need to be there. Pixar's advice here is to combine characters and hop over detours. While you as a creator may feel like you are losing lots of valuable stuff, it will set you free in the end and will allow your audience to get lost in the narrative. One way to find out if your story is easy to follow is to tell it to a friend or family members who have never heard it before. Watch their face as you read it and try to see where they pause and what questions they may have, and they simplify, and simplify. So make the story easier if it's possible. So we've discussed our 6 points, 6 criteria of great storytelling. Now it's time for developing a story. In order to develop it, we need to know structures and the elements. The first crucial element of it includes plot. Another one is characters and narrative point of the view. So remember that every story might include the 4 W's: who, what, where, and when. To start, break a story into 3 parts. Let's look at what parts we can break them. The first one is problem. Second part is journey. And the third, the last part here, the most important, solution. To develop a compelling story, use the story spine. This is the formula created by professional playwright and improviser Ken Adams. You might see it on the slide. Once upon a time there was. Every day, one day, because of that, until finally. So this is the story spine, and the first line is completely known to you. Yeah, you've heard a lot of stories in your childhood with the beginning, once upon a time, and the rest. So you may use these phrases as well for your own story. Now let's try to practice this storytelling. Come up with a story behind the object assigned to you by the teacher. Be ready to share. So, I want you to look at the first picture. Yeah, here you might see a trainees, boots, yeah, whatever it is. Can you make a short story with several sentences what happened? So you might heard about the Ernest Hemingway, yeah, who created the story with 6 words about and you childish boots never won. So a girl who has never a chance to wear a boot. Usually it's called like sadness story, yeah, knowing all the backgrounds of it, but other people interpret as a good one. So maybe the girl has grown so fast that there was no chance to wear it. So can you make a story just from this slide that you can see? A short one. So don't forget to include in your story W's, yeah, as for the question, who, when, why. So is the task clear? If not, send me minus. If yes, send me plus. Or a story itself. And also now I'll ask you while you're thinking on your story, send me your names and surnames, those who participate today, who are present at the webinar, and who wants to win the prize. Thank you, Nikita, for your applause. Okay. So we will have several pictures, yeah, for the story. For those who already sent the story, yeah, I think you remember this picture, you can think about the next one. Let's look at the Sofia Smilinchuk comment. In the childhood, girl very likes to play the football. She plays every day and her trainers was made like this. But then she buys a new pair. Okay, nice story. Thank you. Think about the second one, about the mirror. So, and I'll add all your names and surnames to our fortune wheel. Great, there are a lot of them. Cool. Okay, so think about the story for the mirror and for this picture. So if you're here with us today, don't forget to send your name and surname to me. I will add it to the fortune wheel in the same order as you sent. We have one more story from Sophia. Great, she's so active today. The princess that lives in a big castle very loves herself and always watches in the mirror. So can you send me other stories? Yeah, Nikita also sent. These sneakers were very rare and the owner was a millionaire, but one day butler got into his house and tore these rare sneakers. Interesting plot of your story. Yeah, even with 1-2 sentences, we can imagine what really happened. Great. As for the third picture that you can see on my screen, think for this one. And I'll show you the fourth. The fourth would be this one. Good. One more. Anna commented, since childhood, the girl had an unusual appearance, but of which other children bullied her. But when she came home and looked at herself through a magic mirror, she saw the most beautiful person in the world. Yeah, it sounds like a fairy tale. Nice, thank you. Uliana commented, once upon a time, one girl likes to play basketball. She plays every Saturdays, and these shoes are her favorite. Good. These shoes are her favorite. And one more. This lamp is very beautiful. It was made to order for the queen. You mean for the queen's order? Yeah, she ordered this lamp and they prepared it specially for her, like this. It is 19th century. A lamp is a present to lady from very polite man. Interesting. It's like a love story, might be the beginning of it. Nice. So think about the fourth picture. And also it seems to me I haven't got all your names and surnames here, only 4. Yes, okay. So you still have a chance to send me your name and surname to try to win the prize. If you haven't done it yet, do it. So new story, yeah, from Nikita. This mug of coins was a piggy bank for a child. Yeah, might be. Uliana's story. Once upon a time, in a big house, lives one boy, and he afraid of the dark. So every night he turn on his lamp. A very creative person decides to tip in such an unusual way. Okay, yeah, why not? Yeah, Nikita, it seems to me you sent me a name and surname. I got it. Thank you. So I'll show you the wheel, but we will wait a little bit more until I finally turn it on. But I'll explain what I was doing. So here it is, yeah, your names and surnames that you sent to me. You might see it here. When I start to turn the wheel, we will choose one of you who will get the prize. So let's give a chance maybe to anyone else who haven't sent me names and surnames. I'll wait a little bit more. And we proceed with the storytelling. So this one, it might be a button, yeah, or something else. It's up to you. It's your story. Okay, Eliana, nice attempt to send me one more time. Yeah, but changing name and surname in different order won't help. But I like the attempt. 1 millionaire loves eating, drinking, and money. So it's for the fourth picture. What about number 5 with a button that you might see? Mom asked her daughter to find a button for the dress, and the daughter found a slightly unusual button. Yeah. Did mother sew this button to the dress? Was it special? Or she rejected just, yes, the button is unusual and it won't suit here. Can you develop a little bit your story? Because stories with an open end, yeah, when we do not give the correct answer are great, but sometimes it's better to finish it. Nikita's story, this button was made by a grandmother for her grandson who went to war. Just from generation to generation. Why not? Okay, are there any other stories? So let's wait for Anna's and Uliana's story. Yeah, and for those who already sent me the story, sing for this one. So try to include the mystery, yeah, something that we haven't thought for the beginning, and then it just like came as a surprise. Use one of the rules that Pixar advise us. Uliana commented, once upon a time in a very big castle lived one wizard, and he had this magic button. When he gave his button for people, these people will be a frog. So here it's really unexpected ending because the beginning was so nice and pleasant, and then just turned people into frog. Okay, why not? So picture number 6. Many years ago, one wizard buried a button in the ground and said whoever finds it will become the happiest person. And many years later, a boy whose mother was seriously ill finds the button and his mother recovers and lives happily for a long time. Yeah, I draw this story. It's also like, you're great and writing stories for kids with this light beginning, yeah, and happy endings. Thank you, Anna. Sophia commented, the young pianist finished playing, the young pianist finished playing her melody. One man gives her a bouquet of violets, but her hearts belong to someone else and she leaves them on the piano. Yeah, that's really interesting and beautiful for the story. Cool. Ulianas, and the big city was a popular musician, and one of day he's died. So here we can see like rough ending. Maybe you can add, yes, that he's died by the piano was missing for him, something like that. So Nikita haven't commented here. Oh yeah, we got with the piano. Yeah, good. Have I read it? This piano is very old and plants have grown on it. So like the effect concentration of it. So number 7. Here you can add and imagine whatever you want. Yeah, guess what is behind this picture. How does people might feel? And maybe the storing of this chess itself. So what about this story? And is there anyone who is good at playing chess? Okay, story from Sophia. Lady entired you to play the chess with her. She has a white chess and it looks like she's winning. Probably. Actually, I can't judge from the picture who is winning, but it's Sophia thinks that it's a woman, definitely. Nikita, this game of chess wasn't played because the Germans broke in and killed the players. So it's really just sadness story, yeah. And with this one sentence, which is really powerful, we can perceive the whole tragedy of the story. Right, so think about the next one. Eight. It's a very cheap photo studio. So is it a story or just a comment? Because for the story, it's not enough. For the comment, can't but agree. So here you might see the open book, yeah, nothing in the room. Maybe for the main character, this room is the whole world. Even having nothing but a book, he can explore and learn a lot of things. Uliana commented, once upon a time, there were two best friends. They know each other 61 years, and every Saturdays they are playing chess. That was for the previous one. Yeah, great. This book was read by a man, but he was called to work. Well, it's a good story. Also, we can add and never came back, for instance. Why not? And like this, we can imagine that work is not the thing that you can complete really fast. Okay. Waiting for your other comments. So Nikita, you might think about the next one, number 9. So there would be 12 pictures, just for you to know what to expect. Okay, Sophia also add her story. It's a cheap photo studio. You go to this place and see the book, but don't see photographer. You take the book and you go to another Universal. Yeah, this one just like a perfect story. Great. Anna sent us a long one. It might be interesting. Let's read. This story is about a piano that has seen many deaths. The most famous musicians love to play this piano because it sounded in a special way. And one day the war began. People have forgotten about the piano and all the joys of life. After many years, the only thing that made the piano rejoice was a small bouquet of flowers left by a young lady on the last day of her life. Nice story, thank you, Anna. Uliana at 48. In the attic, in an abandoned house, every time one spirit read a book. Interesting. The glass of wine was turned over because there was poison in the wine and the victim turned it over. Like prediction, yeah, what might happen of it. Sophia's story. Lady sitting in the white room, someone was scared her. Her glass with wine fell. Yeah, I got it. With Nikita's comment and the spelling. Good. Picture number 10. So this scene is calling magnifying glass, yeah? The glass to make the things bigger, or maybe for something else. So it seems to me it's the time to decide who will get the prize today. Yeah, so just a second, we will do it. Just if it's you, you will know. Here it is. Here it is. So let's spin the wheel. So Uliana is the winner today. Yeah, you will get the prize. Our administrator will call you. Great. Let's come back to our stories. So Sophia might be free. Yeah, go to her. Sorry, I have this minute with me. Okay, got it. Christina also is here. So, Christina, you just missed for several seconds because we've decided who is the winner. Okay, can you see the presentation now? Yeah, I hope yes. Let's look for the comments. One king drank wine at dinner, but it turned out to be poisoned and he died. Good. One woman was very sad. She was crying all evening and drinking wine. Interesting. Great. What about the magnifying glass? This magnifying glass was Sherlock Holmes, and this glass was found recently. Why not? But it seems to me you started with a great beginning about Sherlock Holmes. Yes, there is an interest for your story, but it's not enough. You haven't developed it fully to catch and imagine the whole picture of the story in the mind. So I'm waiting for the stories with magnifying glass and with the key. Sophia commented, this is a magnifying glass of the famous detective, which is in a museum named his name. So this one, it seems to me the more finished, with the accent made on named his name, like the play with the words. So think about the key. One more comment. In the one house was Sherlock Holmes, and he was forgetting magnifying glass. So just forgetting all the time his glass. A little girl gives this key to Laddie and says that it can open every door. This key was from the old castle where the scariest animals in the world were kept. Yeah, nice. Cool. Thank you so much for all the stories. I really like them. That was the last lesson of our summertime program. Enjoy the end of the summer and see you soon. Bye-bye.